What's up, everybody? Mike from Talk to the Mike here with another interview. And I'm here with.
Chris Notarile at Blinky Productions.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
So, the people who don't know you, want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a filmmaker. I am, the guy in charge of Blinky Productions. And if you have seen any of my work, I do a lot of fan films on YouTube. And if you haven't seen my work, I do a lot of fan films on YouTube. You should check it out.
Awesome. Now, how many years have you been doing this?
Oh, man, we're going on 20 years, actually. January, it'll have been 20 years that I've been doing this.
Wow, that's a lot compared to other people around. Now, what got you into wanting to make fan films?
Okay, so this is interesting. Back in 2003, I was at Dragon Con in Georgia, and it was I think it was like my second convention I'd ever gone to. And, one of my friends was like, hey, if you're going to start doing cons and going to cons and stuff, you got to go to Dragon Con. It's the big one. It's the one where it's at. I'm like, okay. So I went down to Georgia, and I entered the costume contest, and I dressed up as Ash from Army of Darkness. And while I was waiting for the costume contest to start, I'm backstage at this huge screen, and they premiered Sandy Colera's Batman Dead End fan film, the one where Batman fights the Predator and the Xenomorph. And I'm watching that, and I'm watching it backwards because I'm actually behind the screen. It was on a projector. And I'm seeing everybody react to it. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this guy actually pulled it off. He did what Hollywood couldn't. He put Batman and the Joker and the Predator and the Xenomorph all in one scene. Like, that's impossible for Hollywood to do. Damn, what could I do that would be like that? What could I do that Hollywood could never do? And so I got to thinking, I thought to myself, and I said, I like horror movies, what if I put all of everyone's favorite slashers in one room? They'd never be able to pull it off, and to this day they haven't. So I did The Nightmare Ends on Halloween that following summer. 1 year later, I did Michael, Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, and Pinhead all in one room, and that was how that short film ended. And then I followed up 7 years later with the fight that I had promised and finally delivered on. But yeah, that's what got the whole ball rolling, actually, because I just kind of wanted to figure out how I could one-up Hollywood.
Nice. And they said they're all amazing. Like I think the first three I watched was the Freddy one, the Krueger. I think it was like a little mini series you made, and you put them all together. Then you had the Voorhees, and then you had now I just finished doing the Myers one. Now I'm working on the other Myers, but I like prequels. Some prequels I've seen that are not the best, but these ones are good because you use almost the same story base. Like the Michael, like I think the little kid looks identical to almost the same Michael from the first movie. Like
okay, so it's interesting because for the Myers short, the very first Myers short I did, I really tried my hardest to recreate those costumes, and this is back in 2011, before there were back a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but not a lot, not enough. And I had to really try and think. First off, the replicas, had I just waited 10 years, I could have gotten my own little Michael Myers clown, because I had to sew that thing by myself.
Oh, wow.
I went to the store and I got like that parachute fabric, and I sewed that costume, and it was a little tight on the kid, but it still managed to fit at least enough to look good. And the ruffles were actually really rigid and thick because I had gotten this wired ribbons. So like you get like those holiday ribbons, they kind of just stay frozen. That's what that was, because I didn't know how to make ruffles and everything. And for the mask, the only shot of Michael Myers at 6 years old in the mask is the POV shot where he reaches for the mask, and then that quick shot where the father pulls it off. And I am freeze framing my DVD, not a Blu-ray, a DVD, over and over to get that damn shot. And I'm like, I had no idea that like there's holes here, and it's like this weird shape. I just got a regular white mask and stuck a nose and Sharpied everything on. So I was doing everything I could. And then with Judith, I didn't know that she had a ribbon tied in her hair. I thought it was an actual hairband. And I finally, when they found Sandy Johnson, because I had tried to find her myself, I talked to her and she goes, "Oh yeah, it was just a white ribbon." I go, "Well, thanks. This would have been really beneficial, 10 years ago." But yeah, it was tough because you're making that and you're trying so hard to be as accurate as possible because the best fan films sync right up with the original.
Mhm.
You can pop it in, watch my short, and then watch the original movie right after it, and it feels the same. And if you can't pull that off, it's noticeable. So I think for person filming in the 21st century, I think I recaptured Haddonfield, Illinois, in 1978 pretty well.
Oh no, it was really well done. Like also the Rick and Morty ones. I like Rick, the voice. Like David does the voice for Rick. He's actually pretty almost spot on. So that's kind of cool too.
John and I worked really hard on that voice. The burps were obviously in post. Unfortunately, I wasn't a fan of how well the burps came out. I wish I had done a better job on the burps, but we got like that rasp, and you could see the evolution in his performance. The first time in the Johnny Bravo show, that was his first time doing it, but then in the Rick and Morty Strike Again short with Ronald McDonald, he's just going for that voice, and it was effortless for him. And he really got the pacing and the sense of humor for Rick in the second one.
Mm-hmm. I saw that with the back and forth dialogue. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
What was your favorite fan film to work on and why?
Oh man, Jesus Christ! I've made too many at this point. But you know what? I'm gonna cheat right now. I'm gonna go to my actual channel and I'm going to go down my because I have a playlist on my channel called Director's Choice, which is my cheat sheet. It has some of my all my favorite works. So I'm going to see out of this list which were my favorites, and I'm probably gonna say let's see, out of the fan films, I think 2019 and 2021 were some of my most prolific years. So let's see. Dude, you're really killing me over here. I think I can't say. I can't say. There's too many, man.
Okay, we'll just say
I'm dying over here. There's too many.
We'll just tell everybody to check out that playlist.
Yeah, check out the playlist. You really enjoy yourself. It comes down to like personal experiences, like which ones either felt the most satisfying in the moment, which ones are the most accurate, which ones had the biggest feats in them. Like for example, doing the I Am Kingpin short film, I think I really recaptured like the Dolph Lundgren era Punisher and the D'Onofrio Kingpin in like my Space Ghost short, getting that like really cool like sci-fi vibe to it, and having like a brutal, angry, dark space ghost. Or if I were to go to say like my Martha Joker fan film, that one's pretty up there. Being able to do the Flashpoint version of Batman and Joker and just having it just delve into these like really dark and brutal character pieces. I love the Batman sequence and Superman End of an Era. That was really fun to do, as quick as it was. It was just a really good fan moment. So yeah, there's too many for me to just sit down and go, oh, my favorite. Oh, my favorite.
Now, you do also your own personal short films as well.
Yes.
So, want to tell us if you have any projects in the works right now?
Thank you for asking. I actually do. I am working on an original short film right now. Because SAG is still on strike and the Writers Guild is still on strike, I've sworn off fan filmmaking until the strike is over because, unfortunately, any person who participates in a project for a struck company could jeopardize their future with SAG. And if I'm working with an actor who's non-union or union for that matter, and they do a fan film, they are technically promoting a struck company. And I don't want to have them get kicked out or not ever become part of SAG in the foreseeable future. So I've just said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. So I am now currently working on an original film called The Robot Princess from Planet X, and it is basically an homage to those classic sci-fi films of the 50s, and it's really fun.
So, is there a GoFundMe or a sort of site that people can help or want to participate?
Yes, there is a GoFundMe for Robot Princess from Planet X. It's you can hopefully we can put this in the link below and people can click on it and go there. I'm trying to raise just a simple $2,000 for costumes and props. It's basically like an ode to, like, you know, Forbidden Planet, The Thing from Another World, The Day the Earth Stood Still, those like space age retro 1950s films where, you know, the science doesn't make any damn sense, but it's just fun to watch, you know. And Robot Monster is another one. You know, I have a giant gorilla suit with a space helmet on, and it's a monster apparently.
Nice, nice. Now, after the strike is over, you said like, you're not doing any fan films for now until the strike is over. Once the strike is gone, and you can start making more fan films. Is there any specific film that you'd want to make a fan film out of that you haven't done yet, like a project you're interested in?
Yes, there is a project that I want to do. I don't want to promote it right now, but I will say that it would be a supposed continuation of the I Am Kingpin storyline, dealing with more darker characters in, you know, the Spider-Man Daredevil world.
Awesome, awesome. So now, if people want to check you out on all your social media, do you want to give them all the social media platforms?
Of course. Feel free to check me out. I'm Blinky500 on all social media, including Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just go to the channel, like YouTube Blinky500, Facebook Blinky500. I also respond to just about anybody. So if you want to chit chat and talk about or get some film advice, I'd be more than happy to give you some. And I do take requests, but only if it's funded. So if you have a request that you want and you got some extra cash, we can talk some numbers and I can make a movie for you.
Awesome. Now, all your movies, are they always in the same location, or do you travel sometimes to make some of your films?
It really depends. The first 30 years of my life, I lived on the East Coast in New Jersey, and I made a lot of movies in and around New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. Then I moved to California, and basically everything has been here ever since. It really comes down to the budget of the project, and or if I'm in a certain location. Like I did come to California previously on vacation once, and I did a Joker film back in 2006. But now that I live here, it just depends on, you know, where I am. But being in California is pretty convenient actually, because it's always, you know, good weather. Sometimes really hot, but for the most part, you never really have to worry about like a rainy season or a winter. But yeah, I'll go wherever there's a budget.
Awesome. Now, yeah, like your average films are usually between like 5 to 7 to like sometimes I think it's like the odd one that's like 20 minutes or so. Have you ever made a full feature like hour and a half, 2 hour movie?
I have actually. I've technically made 3 original features. The first was called Methodic. I made back in 2007, and it was released on Netflix back in 2009. This is back when they had physical media, so it wasn't streaming. It was only on rental, and I don't know why the hell they didn't want to stream it, but whatever. And then my second feature was called Standoff, and that never got formal distribution, unfortunately. And so I've kind of sort of pulled that one, as well as Methodic, because I intend to remake both of them on actual budgets in the future. And my third feature was called Perfect, and it was retitled multiple times, not by me, but through the distributor. And that was a movie that basically was bought from me, so I don't own that movie anymore. And it's now currently called The Terminatrix, I think. It's a shitty title. Whatever title they're giving it, Terminatrix, Battle Droid, Android Rising, I don't know. Those are like all the titles that it's been given, and none of them are good. And it's not my favorite, unfortunately, because it has such a small budget, but it was supposed to be a sci-fi film. And when you're trying to do a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie on a tiny-ass budget, and your main character is a cyborg, you have to find a way to show that cyborg skeleton, because if you don't, you don't deliver on that, people are going to be pissed.
Exactly.
And I've read so many angry reviews where like they're talking about that. It's like, damn, sorry guys. I wish I could have, but I didn't. I said her skin was unbreakable. What do you want from me?
Exactly. That you paint a little bit of the metal on, but then they'll still see that it's painted on. So
Yeah, no. You got to be able to show the ripped face, and if you don't show the ripped face, it's not going to work. And I didn't have the budget to do that, and so I learned my lesson the hard way. Not a lot of people like that movie, but it's okay. You know, you live, you learn, you grow.
exactly. Now, have you ever made a all CGI movie, like an all like kind of animated movie?
No, I would love to do an animated movie one day, but unfortunately, that requires a lot of moving parts. You know, hiring animators and being able to, you know, work on a different level. Now, I do have a history, a background in animation, but I just don't have the funds to pull that one off. The reason why I went to live action filmmaking was because it was less tedious. Because, you know, rather than having to draw, you know, just 24 drawings a second to get 1 second of animation, 24 drawings, sometimes 12 if you break it down for 2 frames a second. Rather than having to do that millions of times, I just get people and say, okay, go there, say the thing, do the thing. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, and it's a lot simpler too. So
Yeah.
and I was gonna say, like, you always have the same. A lot of times you have the same actors that come all the time. Are they friends of yours, or are they just people that just they are actors and they just love working with you and they keep coming back?
Everyone I work with is a professional actor, and anyone who works in more than one short of mine or one feature of mine comes back because they do enjoy working with me, and I do provide, you know, content that they are proud of. A lot of times, and this is, I hear this a lot, actors do a short, and it takes the filmmakers a year, months to a year to finish it, maybe more, and they never get the footage for the reels. They never get to see it, and they're all pissed off. And I'm like, wow, that sucks. I shoot a movie on Monday, and I have a finished project on what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here it is. And there, it's like that's unheard of to a lot of people. But you know, unfortunately, yeah, a lot of filmmakers just are really, really slow, and I kind of feel for the actors who are often just stuck with nothing. So at the
Exactly.
very least, working with me, they know they're always going to get something, and it's going to be a quick turnaround, so they never have to worry or wait. We joke at this point, like as soon as I call cut, they go, "When's the final cut?" I go, "Let me get home first, guys."
Yeah, because they work so fast. That I like that little joke. Now, I'm guessing your favorite genre is horror, right?
Horror and superheroes, I guess. That's why I like to merge the two from time to time.
Yeah, that's what, and like the Rick and Morty. I like the Scary Freddy, Scary Larry.
Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. Yeah, I like that one, and I like that the guy who plays Rick was also in Myers. He was one of the doctors who was
John was also in Myers too. Yeah, he was. He's a good guy. I thought he played a really good disinterested doctor.
yeah, he's just like, yeah, we'll just let it go. We'll just let it go. Like, he just doesn't care. But I like the Rick and Morty, especially with the back and forth with Ronald.
I was
And
really proud of that back and forth because that was airtight, quick, and for the most part, it was editing. But there is just a take where they're just screaming profile at each other, and when you get beats like that, it's very fulfilling in comedy. You know, the last thing you want in comedy when you have a pacing is someone to go and then forget their line.
one thing I'd like to see an Ace Ventura horror movie. That'd be interesting. Like a possessed animal that he has to go after or something like that. That'd be
So
something.
I had half an idea for an Ace Ventura short years ago that I wanted to do. Um, when I actually had reached out to this guy who was famous for doing Ace Ventura on his you know, on like a vlog style thing, but you know, he was in California and I was back in Jersey at the time. But we did actually work together on my Freakazoid short. His name is Alex Farnham, and he did play Freakazoid for me in that one. But yeah, we never got to do an Ace Ventura thing. The idea I wanted to do is that I wanted to be he was looking for a lost cat in Chinatown.
I can get that. I get the two things put together in that.
There you go. You get it now.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for this. Do you have any final words for everybody?
Thank you for having me, and please check out my channel, Blinky500. Be sure to like, subscribe, do whatever. And there's something for everybody on my channel. So if you're a fan of horror, action, sci-fi, comedy, I got something for you. There's always something on my channel, no matter what it is. And I have a lot of obscure little things, niche things that if you're a fan of, you'll probably find it. We got odes to, 80s cartoons, 50s movies, 90s comics, obscure references. There's all kinds of stuff that at some point you've crossed in your life and like, oh shit, it's that. I have it. Go to my channel.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and take care.
Thank you.
Straight from the shadow of the right. Up, I'm about to take